Alex Garland's horror movie, Men, is unfortunate both as an individual work that crashes and burns and as a follow-up to his sci-fi exploration of trauma and self-destructiveness annihilation. His new work tackles a few similar themes, repackaging them as isolated folk horror that proves initially effective thanks to its lead performances and a few visual evocations of Lars von Trier. However, it soon begins to take a thuddingly literal approach to even its most esoteric and abstract ideas. What starts out as an intimate eerie piece eventually feels like an exercise in self-indulgence, albeit the kind that inspires shrugs and yawns rather than enrapturement, awe, or even the intended discomfort. The film begins with tragedy as Jessie Buckley's Harper sees a man falling past her apartment window. Some time later, Harper drives to the lush English countryside where much of the story is set and where she rents a quiet rustic cabin to get away for a while. Its owner, Geoffrey, played by an unrecognizable Rory Kinnear, smiles with uncannily shaped teeth as he shows her around, jesting on the edge of overfamiliarity. As Harper explores the nearby village and its winding woods, Garland and his cinematographer Rob Hardy craft a haunting atmosphere that smuggles paranoia into the frame. Before long, what unsettles Harper isn't just her new surroundings but the various men of the village, each a wildly different type with a different appearance, but each played by Kinnear. In their interactions with Harper, the village denizens ride a fine line between unassuming and sinister, resulting in a first half in which men brims with mistrust. As we learn more about Harper through flashbacks, the story becomes about how Harper's traumatic past still ripples and manifests around her. The men of the village are part and parcel of these manifestations, painting an intricate picture of the ways most women are forced to experience a world created by men and dominated by their gaze, which gives rise to the aforementioned paranoia. Garland's concentrated societal microcosm also has a distinctly theological tone which at first offers hints about its subtext. There are a number of biblical undertones, although they're ones that are immediately and explicitly explained. It sets the stage for the ways in which the film begins to slip, even as it further contextualizes societal structures like religion and policing as hostile towards women. These hostilities are immediately effective when they weave their way into mundane conversations, despite the fact that Kinnear's appearance as several side characters, each with their own ill-fitting wig, is often ridiculous. Let's just say that Kinnear understood the assignment, playing various men to whom the title seemingly refers, each meant to embody both explicit and implicit aggressions against Harper. At times he's downright chilling. Buckley is mesmerizing in her role, as well as a singular piece about the ways gendered traumas manifest. These elements work like a charm. But when Men begins to step foot into more overtly horror territory, it quickly collapses in on itself. Every aesthetic element that initially soars is eventually recontextualized in service of a story whose abstractions don't quite work once the scenes around them take a more literal bent. The more ethereal its metaphors become, the less that its tangible slasher-esque chases seem to work. It's one jump scare too many for a film that's much better at initially unnerving you slowly and steadily than it is at startling you the same way over and over again as it dovetails towards its ending. Its plot operates on too literal a level for its haunting imagery to stick in the mind, and it too soon becomes hard to take it seriously when the many silly-looking Kinnear are meant to be imposing in a classical horror movie monster sense. No amount of disruptive, disconnected vignettes with garish lighting can complement them either, and by the end they only serve to distract from any semblance of building tension. Despite its aesthetic flourishes, the end result is a deeply utilitarian film. One where meaning is told rather than felt, and where moving pictures, even at their most visceral and inventive, end up in service of bullet points about a woman's perspective rather than an artistic extrapolation of it. Men is a folk horror movie about gendered trauma that quickly falls apart. It skillfully builds tension in its first half with the help of brilliant lead performances, only to have that tension dissipate when its inventive metaphors become consumed by traditional staging and literal explanations.